We have a problem. We're going to have to probably knock off one of the engines.
We're drifting back. Drop the anchor quickly. The winter is coming in. It's raining.
As soon as we got down here today, it started raining, and it's a dull, horrible overcast day. But at least now you get to see that we don't only go boating in the good weather. Sometimes you go boating in mucky weather too. And this is one of those days. Just coming out of the marina here now at Ballyleague. This is Hanley's Marina.
There's an awful lot of hire boats around this week, which is very good to see.
Yeah.
You'll
I
see
feel
more of
sorry
this.
for anybody who's hired out a boat on a weather like this.
Nothing coming from the left.
Okay. And we're onto the river. It looks so bad.
It is raining.
Guys, we have a problem. We're going to have to probably knock off one of the engines because we've a light coming on at the dash, and I'll have a look at it now and we'll check it out and see.
Drifting back. Drop the anchor quickly.
Right, so we're just coming about now so that we're nosed into the wind, and just going to signal to Mara here, and we're going to put down the anchor then, and I'll get a chance to have a look at this engine and see what the trouble is. Okay, it's neutral. So guys, this is what we discovered. As you can see, the fan belt is completely knackered. So I do a temporary makeshift repair using, well, a pair of women's tights. Now, I've chosen to use a pair of black ladies' tights this time. To be honest with you, the choice of colour doesn't make much difference. So I have to try and get the tights around the flywheel, then around the water pump, and then back to the flywheel. I tell you, I was cold earlier on. I'm not cold now. Right, here are socks. Right, so we have a temporary repair done on the engine. We're going to head back into port and put a proper fan belt onto it.
And it's pouring rain.
Yes, this would only happen in the rain.
At home. All the rain jackets are at home.
Well, at least the rain jackets won't get wet. You couldn't have a wet jacket, could you? It wouldn't do.
No.
Wow. So we had 6 meters of water there. So what I like to do is, as kind of a rule of thumb, is let out 3 times as much chain as we have depth. So I ended up leaving out about 20 meters, which is plenty, because it means chain, instead of going straight down, is at an angle like that. It means the anchor gets a good pull. There's no real wind or anything out anyway, but if there had been, if there had been, you'd need to get a good grip on the anchor. Ballyleague and Lanesborough, that's a kind of narrow funnel in the lake, so you get a bit of a current here. Given all the rain we've had, we've quite a lot of a current here.
Yeah, it was now.
So folks, that was a
bit scary.
a bit of a disaster, really.
Yeah.
But sure, it's a long time since we put down the anchor, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm so glad that we weren't
it.
out in Lochry. What we had planned to do today was to go to Lochry, because there was no wind up. It was a bit misty, but no wind. So I'm glad that we hadn't gone out onto the lake.
Yeah. Well guys, we're back in port after this sensational voyage. So we only headed out. First of all, it was miserable rain. It was a dirty, rotten old evening, and we headed out. And then, of all times, we got a fan belt problem, and I used a pair of Marion's tights. That's what's left of them.
Oh no, no. It wasn't just for the fan belt.
The sweat is still pumping out of me. If ever you're buying a boat, buy one that has an electric winch on it. See that manual thing? I'm not joking. I can still feel my heart pounding from it. Excuse me.
But in fairness now, Harry, we were very lucky where it happened. I mean, we had planned today to go out onto Lochry, and if that had happened, it might have been a different story.
Yeah.
Whereas where we were lucky. We were only 20 minutes out of port.
Yeah.
We were able to drop anchor, so.
That's true. We could have got by, because it's a twin engine boat. We could have got by on one engine. That would have been okay. The trouble with one engine is that it's fine for going across the lake, fine for going up along the river, it's fine for all them things. But the one thing you cannot do is you can't moor up. Well, maybe you could if you were just coming alongside a jetty like that. But the marina we're coming into, we have to turn in and zigzag, and it's quite tight. And a twin engine boat just won't steer properly on one engine. So that's why I said I would do a temporary repair. Just use the tights, because should I look at spare fan belts and everything. The on the engine there's a cooling hose, and it goes up through the centre of the fan belts. So I'd have to take off the header tank, and I had to take the hose out, drain the water in order to put a fan belt on. However, I could get away with doing a temporary repair with the tights. That meant I would only have to loosen off the alternator, put the tights on, tighten it all up with the alternator again, and it would get me into port. It only kind of half worked. You could see the red light on the ignition light was kind of flickering on and off. It wasn't working properly, but it was enough to operate the water pump and keep the engine cool and get us into port. So now I've replaced that. We have a nice new pump.
So now we're back in port, and the plan is that we're not going to venture out onto Lochry for the next coming days, because work commitments, somebody has to go to work.
And
so,
look at the weather.
Yeah, and we're going to go put it off maybe to the weekend, maybe the weekend.
Could end up going to a pub instead.
I wouldn't say no.
I'll tell you at the moment.
A nice pint of Guinness now wouldn't go astray.
Yeah. But my shoulders are
Not
sore.
that I would drink a pint of Guinness, but
my shoulders are very sore. My arms are sore from that winch. So I think that kind of movement could be good.
I think the best thing you could do now is make a cup of tea.
Well, I have to get on anyway.
Good man.
Yeah. Back in a sec.
Yeah, it was a bit uncomfortable for me out there, because I wouldn't be as confident as Harry on the boat. when I had to let it roar, drop the anchor, I kind of, oh my God, what are we letting ourselves in for? But lucky enough, there was no wind and it was calm enough evening. There was a few boats around, so if we did get into difficulty, there was other boats around, so we would have been okay.
We would, yeah.
You know, so I wasn't that concerned. A little concerned, but not that concerned.
What we did when we were putting the anchor down then as well is we nosed the boat into the wind. If there'd been a current and the wind, we'd nose it into whichever one is the stronger. Then we brought the boat to a complete stop and we sort of slowly reversed back. So that when we dropped the anchor down, it would go down, hit the bottom, and then the chain would lay out in front of it. If we'd come to a complete stop and just drop the anchor and all the chain as well, it would all pile up on top of the anchor like that. And when you do eventually pull it tight, it pull the anchor sideways, could be caught any old way. So it's important to be in a slow backward motion, faced into the wind or the current, whichever is the stronger. Put the anchor down reasonably slowly. And as I say, I don't know what the rule is, but my rule of thumb is I allow about 3 times the depth. And if there was a wind or a strong current, I'd put out more. If you're worried, put out plenty chain. Just getting it back in.
It's hard work.
Oh, it is. So getting it in then, we'd crank up all the slack. So that slowly edging the boat forward until you get to the point where the chain is almost directly down, pointing directly down, and then I got Marion to drive the boat forwards, and it just pulls the anchor around like that in the mud. If you imagine it, it unhooks it, and it allows you to crank it back up then, if you've any energy left at all.
Now, in fairness, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad for somebody who wasn't cranking up an anchor.
Yeah.
It's hard work. It is.
It wasn't that bad. Well,
you were able to look at it and knock it out of breath, were you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
good.
that's it for now, folks. I hope you enjoyed our little trip again, this one. Stay tuned.
Don't forget, click on the round circle up there. That's the subscribe button, especially if this is your first time visiting the blog. And make sure to tick the bell to receive notifications. And that way you're sure never to miss another episode.
Okay, bye-bye. Talk to you soon.
Thumbs up.
Cheerio.
Take care, guys.